So many traders underestimate what needs to happen to become successful, especially beginners, new traders do that. There are certain steps that you just have to go through, and there are certain competencies that you need to obtain in order to be successful on a sustainable basis as a trader. And I can tell you that I also underestimated this very much in the beginning, how long it actually takes to be successful and to be profitable on a sustainable basis. And until you can really reach the peak of that mountain. From the learning or from a learning psychology point of view, there are different steps that every beginner goes through. And that is not only in terms of learning how to trade. No, this is for everything. Every learning process that you go through certain steps, and you can see these here. There are 5 key steps, and it always starts with the unconscious incompetence, the conscious incompetence, then you get an enlightenment moment, then you move into the stage of conscious competence, and then unconscious competence. And it really is everything that you do, everything that you learn. It could be learning how to drive a car, learning how to drive a bike, anything. You go through these stages, and trading is no different. And so that you understand how this journey takes place, I will go through the different steps in this video with you and explain these with regards to trading. So we also see some examples here. So let's take a look at unknown incompetence or unconscious incompetence. What does it really mean? It basically means that you don't know what you don't know or what you can do. With regards to trading, it means that we think this is all fairly straightforward. We just need to buy something and maybe we draw a few lines. However, this step means that we do not know our own deficits, or we don't know what is out there and what we have to learn. It can also mean that the person who wants to learn something has a problem to identify what he or she does not know. So, if you don't know about a certain topic, or you don't know enough about trading, you don't know what you need to learn to become better. So, and that is the difficulty in this very first stage of the development process. People in this stage oftentimes intuitively do the wrong things. That is why you will often hear that people say, oh, I bought this and now the price went down, or that there is a saying that you should normally do the opposite of what the majority of people do, because intuitively the majority of people do the wrong things. Many traders, especially retail traders, are in this phase of unconscious incompetence. Quite interesting is the so-called Dunning-Kruger effect. And I don't really want to bore you with concepts here, but this is really one key concept, and I'm sure you can relate to it as a trader, as an investor, as someone who's just looking at the charts and might have some initial experience or even more experience as a trader. So there's an interesting study by Dunning and Kruger, and the so-called Dunning-Kruger effect is really related to this whole development model, and especially the stage of unknown incompetence. So here you can see on the x-axis, so on the horizontal axis, the journey from an ignorant person who does know very little to the expert. So down there you can see the knowledge on the horizontal axis. You can see the knowledge of a person and the knowledge that you obtain on your journey. And on the y-axis, which is the vertical one, it is the self-confidence, and you can see how it ranges from very little to high. So let us start on the lower left-hand side. You have basically, you here have a person who has no clue at all, absolutely no idea about, for example, trading. The person has no idea how it is all connected, about the different concepts around trading, about technical analysis, about support resistance, about risk management, money management, anything. The person has no clue. And also related to that, and because of that, the person has no self-confidence. The problem, however, is the higher the self-confidence of this not knowing person, that is really the problem that many traders have. The higher the self-confidence with little knowledge combined, that creates a big problem for many traders and creates the frustrations and empty bank accounts. It is the problem of people who think they know a lot, but they can't because they have only just started out. But they then realize, because they make losses, that they actually have no clue. So we go down from here into the phase where they actually realize that they have to no clue really. And this is an important step. Only step by step, with increasing knowledge, the further steps take place and you move into the next phase of development. And then there are enlightenment moments, and you realize you have to learn quite a lot actually to become successful. And only after quite a while you become the expert. So you really have to go through this initial, or typically that is what happens. You go through this initial, well, I have no clue, but I have a lot of self-confidence, and oh dear, that didn't go well. So yeah, and suddenly I realize, all right, I don't know it all. And then you start building from there. And that is what pretty much everybody goes through. And also I went through this phase, many years ago, where I, made mistakes. And after that, I really then started to build on it, really lost some money and then started to build on it, learned a lot, did really everything, tried to get all the information about trading and technical analysis that I could get. And then I built on that. And that is what took me through the different stages. And yeah, only after a while you really become successful and you become sort of this kind of expert. And so in summary, this is the problem that many people or traders overestimate their knowledge. So let us take a look at how this could be related to a specific situation on the charts, to a specific trade. Let us take a look at this chart, which is actually the Bitcoin chart on the 4-hour chart. And let us imagine that we could go long here, maybe here, or maybe even here at the peak, because as we always learn, you should really trade with the trend, isn't it? So let us imagine we currently only see this because I used the replay version here, or the replay mode in TradingView. So I'm gonna play this in a minute and then we can see. But imagine we are in this situation. This is all you can see here on the chart. And yeah, so basically what you do here, you maybe you go long here because you're just seeing how the prices are going up. You have the fear of missing out. You become a bit greedy. You think, well, it's going up. I should go with the trend, shouldn't I? So you go long here. And that is exactly what many beginners realize and experience, that it seems like always the opposite of what they think happens is actually happening. So let's take a look at what actually happened here after we went long here, or in this imaginary scenario here. So I just increase the speed a little bit. And there you go. You can see that we moved down to support and retested that actually again. And then we started to slowly go down. And this is when people think, all right, maybe it didn't go that well. Well, maybe I should buy the dip. And then you go down, 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 down. And I'm going to stop it here. But yeah, this means then maybe here, yeah, somewhere, we actually close our trade with a loss. And yeah, after our first loss, when we've actually been stopped out, we might actually go short at a certain point in time. So, maybe we did go short down here. Maybe we went short when the price really dropped. Okay. But obviously, as you can see, after that, the price spiked again. Yeah. So you always get these markets are moving in waves, but that is what the problem that many people have. Probably a lot of people did go short here at some point and were actually stopped out again. But let's just play that. But that is just the reality of what many people experience. Yeah, they buy here and then they have to sell at a loss because prices are dropping. Maybe you went long here as well, and then again, because you see that long wick, you think, well, that's bullish. And you went long, and there you go. It goes down and down and down and down, and we went all the way down to 39. And then you think, well, we find support here. We go long, and there you go, drop again, right? And that is when people get frustrated, and many people still. Maybe they realized at a loss, so maybe now people think, well, maybe at some point here we are now going up again. So I go long again. Let's go long. Should we get it done? And here 33, and then you go down again. You come down all the way to the beginning again. And that's pretty much the problem, right? So people often do exactly the opposite of what the market is doing and then get frustrated, and it is a bit of a problem. So yeah, so people both ways are losing money, and that is the problem. People often buy high and sell low, and that is of course exactly the opposite of what you should be doing, really. Another example, really, and that is the same chart, but I just want to visualize and explain what many people are doing. So many people, maybe some traders really got lucky, or sometimes you are just lucky, or maybe they just made the right decision. And but it was probably luck, because if you're very early in the stages, then it is more likely to be luck because you don't have the skills yet. Not saying you don't have the skills, but that is just reality. What with many retail traders is happening. So maybe that person bought here was really lucky, right? Prices are going up, And what then often happens, okay, maybe we add another position here. That's fine. People see prices going up. People at some point get greedy, and they might have opened another position here then. So the problem with that is that's fine. Yeah, here you already double your risk. Yeah, you actually double your risk, because from down here to up there, you actually made quite a bit of profit already. But by opening a position here, you actually increase your risk again, and then the same up here. So increasing your risk constantly. I mean, you can manage your risk, of course, with a stop loss. And in further videos, we're obviously going to go further into that. But someone who has no clue will or might not use a stop loss. And then obviously when the price is then coming down, will have to close that trade at a loss, maybe down here. That will be closed, maybe cost neutral, and then still has a small gain if that person makes the right decision and closes the trade. But of course, with the right system, those mistakes might actually not happen. So many traders suffer a total crash in the end, and money is gone. That is unfortunately the reality. And now we take a look at how the known incompetence looks like. This is already some progress, yeah? Where in the first step you overestimate your knowledge. At least here you already know that you have some deficits and the effects of them. Yeah, you know how they affect you, how they affect your trades, and how they restrict you in what you would like to do. But you don't know how to get over them, how to overcome them. So people in this phase can intuitively do the right things, but they cannot analyze their behavior because they don't know enough about the topic yet. So people in this phase often say that the more you know, or the more they know, the better they get. In this phase, people often go to seminars, take courses, read books, watch videos, and so on. And I did the same myself, yeah. Try to educate myself with everything that I could find about trading, about technical analysis. People often look for the perfect system. So people in this phase know that money can be made with trading, but they often look for that perfect system. Very typical is the so-called system hopping related to that. When doing their research, these people often find different trading systems, maybe on the internet, maybe on YouTube, maybe in books even, yeah. So for example, on different websites as well, and they move from system to system. The problem is that they don't stay with one system until they master it. Typically, when you start with a new system, you're obviously a beginner in that new system, and naturally you make some mistakes or things don't work out. And that is when many people get frustrated and they suddenly move to the next system, where again, they are a beginner, they test things, they don't work out, they go to the next system, same problem. However, what actually should be done is to stay with the system, master it, test it thoroughly, and maybe it doesn't work out, but then at least stay with it for a while, try to master it, and only when you really realize it doesn't work, then move to another one. Test it for a longer period. And the problem is that this sort of short-term view leads to system hopping, and it cannot lead to sustainable results. So you basically start again and again, and you get frustrated. Oftentimes others are blamed for this, such as the software, the exchange, or whoever. People in this phase often look for the problem in others. Very problematic is that in this phase, many people are very receptive to scams as well. Be aware that around trading, around technical analysis, but mainly around trading, there are a lot of scams. Many people try to sell you a system with maybe 90%, 95%, maybe even 100% success rate. And the problem is that exactly in this phase, many people are receptive to that. And the people who are selling the scams or the scammy systems, and who try to lure you into a system which either doesn't work or they try to just get your money, these people know that many people are receptive to that because these people are looking for the perfect system. However, in this phase, step by step, through this process, you then get to the next step. You realize that you need a trading system that works for you instead of just doing the system hopping. You realize that you need certain rules in place, clear rules for opening and exiting a trade. You realize that you should have a trading journal. You realize that you should analyze your previous trades. And do you actually take the responsibility for your trades as well? Or do you just blame other people, maybe some people you follow? In the end, the goal has to be that you become knowledgeable enough to make your own decisions and to take responsibility for your own trades, because it is your hard-earned money. Of course, you can take guides from someone, you can learn from someone, but you always have to take the responsibility for your trades. And that is why education and this whole development process is so important. And as soon as this second step of known incompetence is overcome, you get an enlightenment moment. So in the enlightenment moment, then you realize that you cannot predict the market. The market does what it wants, and the best you can do is to make assumptions about the market and to plan ahead. There are a few methods that can help you forecast price moves better than other methods, such as, in my view, the Elliott wave method, but this is very advanced and will be part of a more specialized course. And to be honest, you don't need it, especially not in the beginning. TA can be used to give you an edge in the market, to give you an advantage. That is really the purpose and the value behind TA. Without TA, it's very hard to trade. I would say you can't trade without technical analysis. But it gives you that advantage, that edge, and you can find those moments where you can then possibly enter a trade or exit a trade. So it is crucial to find your trade setup. And even if you can forecast the market reasonably well, let's say with the Elliott wave method, you still get more than one scenario and you never really know what the market will be doing. So therefore you realize that you need a system, a trading system that helps you to keep the emotions aside. The system includes certain rules, and the advantage is that emotions and rules do not mess up your trading. You also realize that losses belong to trading. As every business has certain costs, also a trading business has costs. And some of these costs are the losses that just happen. We cannot only make profits. The trader also recognizes that it is important to let the winners run and to cut losing trades early. This has to do with mindset, and it is easier said than done. Cutting losses early is also part of risk management and money management. Anyway, and as soon as we've had this enlightenment moment, then we get into the phase of known competence. We know that we know something, and I know how I need to approach things to be successful, for them to work. However, I still need to focus on it a lot. It is pretty much as if, when you learn to ride a bike or you learn to drive a car. In the beginning, it is stressful and requires a lot of focus. We need to think a lot, and it is a very conscious effort. In this phase, you know that you should only make a trade when your system tells you to. We also have learned how to deal with losing trades. And one important aspect of this, and which is related to that, and which we're going to cover in later videos as well, is the risk management, the money management. And again, following all of this development, this allows us to be successful long term. It then allows us over time to reach the peak of the mountain. It allows us to reach the unconscious competence stage. Things here happen much more subconsciously. And like if you are an experienced car driver, you also do things just subconsciously. In this phase, you have a lot of experience and you don't need to focus on it all the time. You just do it. You're basically in flow. You can trade in a relaxed way and you keep the emotions aside. You just follow your trading system and you are an expert. You just do it. You don't need to be stressed out. And then you have completed all of these steps of your development to becoming a successful trader. It takes a while and there is no reason to rush it. It is a journey. However, it is worth it. You will learn a lot on your journey, and this course will be part of that journey for a lot of people. And, as I said, I'm going to work on more advanced courses as well. I'm really, really happy and hope I can help you on your journey to become a more successful trader. However, only by really being aware that these steps exist, that already puts you ahead of many other traders. And it is so important to really get an understanding of the different stages you need to work through, and it maybe already gives you an idea of where you already are. So yeah, hopefully we can go through that journey together.